What are the top 5 tips to get a first class essay at university? Stay tuned to find out. Well, what's happening, everybody? I know university is probably coming to the end of its second semester, so a lot of students will be going off on their holidays and whatever. But there will still be some master students and, like me, PhD students who'll be working over the summer doing research and whatever. But there will also be prospective students who'll be going to university starting in September or whenever that is, who will probably require these tips. And I wish I had these tips previously, because I'll just give a bit of background information here. My undergraduate degree was History and Sociology, and in the first 2 years, especially the first years, I struggled to get first class essays. I think I had one first class essay in first year, and I had two first class essays in second year. And it was the same mistakes I was making. So, and they'll be covered in this wee video. But by third year, because of the tips I'll be giving you, my grades improved drastically. And I think in my third year, the 6 modules that I did, um, I got first class in every one of them, and I eventually got a first class degree all round, a first class degree in history and sociology. And then on my masters, I got, I don't know, I don't think they're called first class modules or at master's level, or first class essays at master's level, but I got a distinction overall on the masters. And as I say, now I'm doing a PhD. So I'm hoping that people will take this advice on board, because I wish I had have known these in my first and second year, because I would have got far better grades in those years and pushed those 2 1s up into firsts. But yeah, let's get on with it. The fifth point, and this is something that you will learn on your first year at university, and by second year, you should have perfected it. It's referencing system. So, because I was a history and sociology student, I used two different referencing systems. One was Harvard referencing system, which will be quite common to a lot of people, and that was for the sociology aspect. And Harvard has in-text citation, so you like say a quote like, um, Margaret Thatcher was the prime minister during 1979 to 1980. And then you would put the author's title in text citation. So it would be something like, I don't know, Graham 1999. Right? That's Harvard. But the other, for my history cohorts and for my history course, I use something called Irish Historical Studies Referencing System. It's practically another way of doing Chicago, which is footnotes. And unlike Harvard, where it's in-text citation, as I say, it's footnotes. So it comes a wee number at the end of it. And you put the reference in the footnote, and it's completely different to Harvard. But you also have your referencing list at the end of your essay or your dissertations or whatever that is. So yeah, I would definitely pick up, and you will learn this in first year, but referencing system, it's easy marks. See, as long as you perfect your referencing system, it's easy marks. But if you get certain wee mistakes in there, for instance, if you've referenced it wrong, if you've not put in a reference in there that should be, you can also go done for plagiarism. But also if your bibliography or your reference list is out of place, or it's in different order, so it has to be in alphabetical order or numerical order, you could easily lose marks that you really shouldn't be losing. I lost some because I was confused about which reference. I can remember I got a 2-2 or a 2-1 by putting the history referencing system in the sociology one, which was completely wrong, and vice versa. I might have done the same mistake. So if I had got those right, for example, it would have bumped it up into either a high 2-1 or possibly even a low first. But yeah, make sure you get the grips of your referencing system. As I say, you will learn that, and you won't be expected to perfect it immediately within first year. But by second year, make sure you've got to grips with it because it's easy marks. Like you could easily lose marks for it, and you really shouldn't be. So yeah, perfect your referencing system, whatever that is. In fourth place, this may seem just a generic term and may seem stupid, but trust me, it really is important. And that is read. Read like hell. And I mean that because, see, if it, all your module conveners or your lecturers out there will supply you with a reading list for the start of each module or essay that you have to do. Um, and if you just read, like, go off the essay or the lecture notes that you're taking, you probably still will be able to crack an essay either, don't get me wrong, but I doubt you'll get a good grade. But if you really take the time and really delve into the reading, you will notice the difference, trust me. Like, I was probably a bit lazy, especially in my first 2 years, of probably thinking, oh, I know this, I'll be able to crack it out. And then when I was getting my grades back, they were good. As I say, I was getting 2-1s, low 2-1s and whatever, mid 2-1s. But the more I read, especially in third year, but especially at master's level, I noticed a complete change. I'm reading now with my PhD, but the more you read, the more ideas flow into your head, and the more different perspectives you'll have of whatever question you have, and it will really show in your answer. Because if you're looking at the lecture notes, it's probably just a brief summary. But if you delve into like a specific reading, for instance, I'll use my own area of expertise, Thatcherism, or Margaret Thatcher. I'm researching the poll tax, but a big specific area of Margaret Thatcher is called Thatcherism. And if you're watching just a lecture notes or watching a lecture just on Thatcherism, they'll probably just tell you Thatcherism was to do with monetarism, um, control of the economy, the rollback of the state, etc., etc. And don't get me wrong, it very much is that. But there is also different historians out there and different scholars out there who, yes, does agree that Thatcherism has those elements to it, but there is also people that considers Thatcherism was a distinct personality of Thatcher herself. So her like moral beliefs, her religious beliefs, her beliefs in Methodism and stuff like that, and also her upbringing. While there's also out there that believes there was different types of Thatcherism. There was obviously the economic Thatcherism, but there was also social Thatcherism. But yeah, so that all comes with reading, and you get a real different outlook. So do not cut back on your reading because, as I say, the more you read, it'll not only develop you as a person and your knowledge, but honestly, it will show on your essays. Trust me. Finally, get into the top three, and I would say these top three could all be a number one because they've all helped me drastically. These three that's coming are were the 3 week areas that I had. But yeah, I'm gonna put this one in third. It's structure, and I'm going to break structure into like specific areas as well. The first area I'll start with is answer the bloody question. So if again using my area, to what extent was Thatcher influenced by America, for instance, something like that, right? Don't just go off on a tangent and speak about something else. Like, for instance, go off on a tangent and say Thatcher um was just doing it for the crack or something, or Thatcher was always out shopping or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Answer the bloody question. So going back to that question, to what extent was Thatcher influenced by America? Using the previous point, which was reading, pick out points in the reading that emphasizes how she was or how she was not influenced by America. there will be a lot of comer. Like, and then to get a real top grade essay, pick out points to challenge your own point. So if you come across Reed, and there will be a lot out there that she was influenced by America, um, you could challenge that by also acknowledging yes there was influence, or yes or no there wasn't influence, by challenge it by saying but there was other influences more prominent. That is a top essay. So for instance, you could start off by saying Margaret Thatcher was influenced by America, especially during her economic periods. For instance, monetarism came from American beliefs in certain, even my research, there was influences of a local sale tax in America, for instance, but I won't go off in the tangents like that. So you could put that in the first part of your essay. And then in the second part, you could put in something there was more prominent influences on her. For instance, Keith Joseph. Understand if a lot of people don't understand who these people are, but yeah, it's you're actually critiquing the aspect. So again, go back to the structure. The point I'm making here is answer the question, but you're also being critical. And to get critical into your structure is that really pushes you up there. So be critical, answer the question. That is the first part. So, and I say, go back to my own question, is like, you answer yes or no, whatever you want. So there is influence or there isn't influence. But then challenge that by saying there was more prominent influences on her. And then finish it by sitting saying something like a thesis statement. So, or an essay statement. Like, I do agree that Margaret Thatcher was influenced by America, especially in the areas of X, Y, and Z. However, despite acknowledging this, I believe the influence of Keith Joseph or certain other influences were more prominent, especially in her political career. And as long as you have evidence to support that, you will get a top mark, honestly. But yeah, also other elements is into structure is how the essay is actually structured. And this is something that I did struggle with initially, trust me. And what I came to realize was the importance of an introduction. I mean, that like a lot of lectures and grade markers and essay markers and stuff like that will only read your introduction and skim read the rest of it. So make sure your make sure your entire essay is perfected, but make sure you've put a lot of focus on your introduction and make your introduction actually a mini essay. And what I mean by that, I'll show you how I did mine. So say that was the question again, to what extent was Margaret Thatcher influenced by America? I would start that essay off with one or two sentences from the literature about Margaret Thatcher as a person. So the first quote could be Margaret Thatcher's period as Prime Minister of Great Britain was one of the most research periods in recent British history. There's a quote, and as long as you have literature to back that up, there's your first sentence. Then the second sentence could be building on it. It could be something like, during this period, there was a whole host of changes in the British society and political spectrum, with the influence of the introduction of privatization, the rollback of the state. There was also mass controversy with like the Brixton riots and stuff like that, and the poll tax, my area. So yeah, there is your first two, and that is your introduction to your essay. But then after that, you're just linking on to. However, there is a lot of speculate or a lot of political and historical research are in debate. So there's like a saying that you've actually been reading as to the extent to which America has influenced her political decision making or her social outlook on British society. Thus, and then finish the essay, I would finish with like a clear plan. Thus, within this essay, I will set out to answer this question. Firstly, This is getting into the introduction. Firstly, I will detail how America did influence Margaret Thatcher, and then by showcasing X, Y, and Z. However, the paper will finish by showcasing that despite her America influencing her to a certain degree, Keith Joseph and other influences were more prominent than America's influence because X, Y, and Z. And then that is really like outlaying to your reader what you're going to read or write within your essay. And then it also gives you a plan of what to do. So your first part of your essay focuses on how America did influence her. The last part focuses on what other influences were more prominent on her. And then the final part is your conclusion, just to summarize everything that you've written. And trust me, if you do every essay like that, whatever question it may be, whatever topic it may be, you will get a top mark, honestly. The second point, and this may seem a bit weird, but do not think that your lecturer knows everything. And I mean that. Yes, they are far more expert than you. Yes, they are experts in their field. But if they come across a bit of information in your essay that blows their mind that they have never seen before, that's an instant first class. Instant first class. They they will just go, how did I not know that? Like honestly, it's instant first class. And to achieve that is get back to the fourth point, which is reading. Yes, your lecturer will supply you with a long reading list. Try and read as much as you can of that, but also look outside of that reading list and pick out bits and bobs of information that's not on there and bring it into your essay. So using my expertise again, primary sources, letters, diaries, if you're going to political sciences, interviews, documentaries, stuff like that, bring it all in that's relevant to your essay question. And there might be something that you find that you think is relevant that your lecturer has no idea existed, and they may go. As long as that's backed up by like this is definitely occurred in that primary source, your lecturer will be blown away. And that is showing high levels of criticality. And trust me, if you do that, it's an instant high first class, by the way. So yeah, definitely do that. And finally, for me, the number one tip to get a top class essay is writing. I mean this, my weakest area by a country mile within the first 2 years. And the amount of comments that I got, I was getting 68 lots of times, which is a very high 2-1. And the amount of comments that I got that basically said was, this essay is packed full of top detail. However, it's difficult to understand. And it's hard to read. And so I took it upon myself to go. I went to I still go to Queen's University. I went to the Learning and Disability Service to improve my writing. And gradually, through these tips that I will say here, my writing has improved drastically. And as I say, I got first classes galore in third year, first classes in my distinction at master's level, and I've literally just submitted my chapters from a PhD, and it reads brilliantly. And the number one tip to improve this for me is read out aloud. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Read your essay. Go into a quiet room like your bedroom, whatever you have written down, and assure yourself that you have enough time to read your essay before you submit it. Preferably a day before you submit the essay, you have your essay finished and you just have to read. But yeah, go into a quiet room, read it out aloud, and you will spot either spelling mistakes or you will spot where a comma should be or there shouldn't be a comma there. And for instance, a full stop should be there or shouldn't be there, and also certain linking words. So my essays used to be something like this. I'm just going to read out a sentence here. I am a Liverpool supporter, and I went to Anfield once in my career to see Steven Gerrard play in a Champions League game in 2005, the year Liverpool won the Champions League against AC Milan in the final, and where Andrei Shevchenko missed a penalty, and where Kaká scored a penalty, and where you get the gist. My essays went on and on and on without a full stop. Very long sentences. And to break that down again, I am a Liverpool supporter. Full stop. That is the way it should be. And the way you speak, or the second sentence would be, I went to Anfield in 2005 to see Steven Gerrard play. So, previously, the sentence would have been, before I corrected this, was, I'm a Liverpool supporter and I went to Liverpool in 2005 to see Steven Gerrard play. It isn't that bad, really. But if you break it down, it would be, if you're struggling to breathe and losing your breath by the time your sentence is finished, it needs a full stop or a comma. So I am a Liverpool supporter. I went to see. I am a Liverpool supporter. I went to Anfield in 2005 to see Steven Gerrard play. That is much better, right? But vice versa, if you have too many commas in there. So, for instance, I probably put it, I am a Liverpool supporter and I went in 2005 to see Steven Gerrard play. So, obviously, you notice there's far too many pauses, which probably means there's either far too many commas or full stops there that there shouldn't be. So, if you read that out aloud, you'll know how either the sentences seem too long or they're completely broken up by commas or full stops. So whenever you see a comma, it's a slight pause in your breath. Wherever you see a full stop, it's a long pause. So yeah, that's one way to look at it. But also, certain words such as like but was one of my big errors. So I was putting but at the start of a sentence. You can't put but at the start of a sentence, but not, and on a rare occasion. But it's better to be combined into one sentence. Or again, go back to Liverpool. Virgil van Dijk is a top class player. Full stop. But Mo Salah is my favourite player. Right? I put a full stop in there. That's the way my essay should have been, or used to be, before I learned how to improve it. But the best way to do it is, Virgil van Dijk is a top player, but Mo Salah is my favourite player. No full stop, just put a but. That's it. No full stop, just put a but. Just carry on your sentence. That's how to do it. So yeah, if you do all these tips, trust me, you will get a top class essay. You will bang out the first classes all, and you'll ace your degree. Trust me, whatever topic it is, if you stick to these points, you will get it. Trust me. So yeah, what does everybody think? And thanks very much for watching.